Alrighty guys, we're back for Boros Artifacts, and this is an Aetherdrift, Standard Brew, and I'm Redcat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some Ranked. We have all four Dowsing Device. Not a new card, but it is kinda sorta the main build around, so I'm gonna take the time to go over it first here. It's a 2-mana artifact. Whenever this or another artifact you control enters, up to one target creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains haste until end of turn. Then transform this artifact if you control 4 or more artifacts. Now, I don't think that's going to be unheard of at all, so let's go over the backside here. It transforms into Geode Grotto, which is a land, taps for a red. Okay. Now, for 2 and a red, you can tap this until end of turn. Target creature gains haste and gets +X/+0, where X is the number of artifacts you control. Activate only as a sorcery. Now, there's going to be a lot of great creatures to go ahead and put that +X/+0 onto. Creatures like Gingerbrute wouldn't mind that, right? A 1-mana 1/1 artifact creature with haste, and then of course that top ability always comes in handy for just 1 mana. This creature can't be blocked this turn except by creatures with haste, so making it chunky off of a Geode Grotto sounds pretty cool, right? But we also just have chunky creatures packed in anyways, and they're artifact creatures at that. How about Sundial, making the cut as a 3 of? It's a 2-mana 3/3 legendary artifact creature. That's it. I don't know, bro. I feel like it has decent stats, and I think when we pair it with Dowsing Device, I think it's going to be awesome. We have other artifacts packed in, of course. We have 4 Yotian Frontliners. That ought to do the thing. Not going to take the time to go over it right now, though. We have 4 Nesting Bot as well. This is a 1 white mana 1/1. Start your engines. So if you have no speed, it starts at 1. It increases once on each of your turns. When an opponent loses life, max speed is 4. At some point, I'm going to stop reading the start your engines thing, but we're still pretty close to the beginning of the set, right? So also on Nesting Bot here, first of all, when you have max speed, this creature gets +1/+0, which is all right. But mainly in here because also when it dies, create a 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature token. Not half bad, right? We kind of sort of have a small max speed theme packed in here. So we have other cards to help start our engines. Burnout Bashtronaut being one of them. 1 mana 1/1 with Menace has start your engines. For 2 mana, this creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. It also has max speed, so this creature has double strike, which is kind of sort of no joke, right? We have a couple Hazoret Godseekers as well. 2 mana 5/3 indestructible haste. My goodness, what's the downside? Well, it can't attack or block unless you have max speed. So I don't know. I don't think it's going to be, I think it's going to be really easy to get to max speed in here, but we'll see, right? We're kind of completely relying on our creatures to get us there. So now also on this card for 1 mana, you can tap this. Target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. Okay. Now it also has start your engines, by the way. I think I forgot to go over that part of the card too. More creatures. We got a couple Screaming Nemesis packed onto the top end. I am terrified of life gain, so a couple Screaming Nemesis ought to do the thing. How about some removal? We have 3 Get Lost. There's going to be rare moments where you might use a Get Lost on your own creature to get a couple map tokens for the Dowsing Device ability, right? It's going to be rare moments, but there's a reason I opted for Get Lost. We also have 4 Perilous Snares here too. It's a 3 mana artifact. Okay. It has start your engines, and when this artifact enters, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until this artifact leaves the battlefield. Not bad. And then when you have max speed, you can tap it, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature or vehicle you control. Activate only as a sorcery. I think it's going to be freaking terrific in this one. The mana base guys opting for fast land with Inspiring Vantage and the Sunbillow Verge. But we do have an Abraded Bluffs because I wanted to give it a shot in a max speed deck list. We'll see if it does the thing today. I'm willing to try it as a one of, right? We also have 3 Muraganda Raceways. Another way to start our engines. Taps for colorless when we have max speed. Taps for 2 colorless. I mean, I wouldn't mind the extra mana, so we'll see if it does the thing, right? Lots of honorable mentions. I thought about Skrelv. Monstrous Rage, of course, right? Monstrous Rage works well with cards like Gingerbrute, or works well with Double Strike on Burnout Bashtronaut. Kind of feels weird not being in here. Thought about Split Skin Doll. Ren's Resolve. Oh, guys, That reminds me, Demand Answers is the card draw of the deck. It's a 2-mana instant speed. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice an artifact or discard a card. Draw 2 cards. Hopefully it does a thing today. Maybe it should just be Ren's Resolve, right? Outpace Oblivion almost made the cut. Muraganda Raceway was also a land I thought about. Okay, I do my dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, see how we do. All right, looks like we're getting right into that first game. What am I expecting from the build? Dude, I think it's going to be terrific, but I have no idea. I really don't. It could go either way, but I think it's going to be good, man. Opponent goes first. That's unfortunate. Vantage, turn 1 Nesting Bot. Turn 2 Sundial. This is good, right? I'm keeping this. Swamp, huh? Okay. Yep, go right into that Nesting Bot. Start our engines if they cut it down. Oh, no cut down. Ooh, Rakdos. Fear of missing out. I'm scared. What you discarding, opponent? It's just a Sulphur Springs. Okay, that's good news. Could have been a Volgavoth, right? And that's next turn's discard. All right, we can get the Raceway down. It doesn't really matter. I guess for now we get Plains down. We don't swing Nesting Bot into the Fear of missing out. We could increase our speed by going Get Lost onto the Fear. That doesn't seem great either. We're just going to stick with it, huh? We could also try to cheese the Nesting Bot through, but I don't think they would have fallen for anything. I'm pretty sure they block regardless, right? Like if we had a trick up our sleeve like Monstrous Rage, they wouldn't mind Fear of missing out going to the graveyard anyways. So they'd pretty much block no matter what there. Trumpet and Connoisseur. No, my Sundial. You monster opponent. Okay, I'll take the 2. At least we'll be increasing our speed, right? Oh, the second Godseeker doesn't seem that great, does it? We should probably save the Perilous Snare for a bigger thing. Like both of these, right? We don't really want to hit the Fear of missing out. All right, get the Raceway down. We'll start by increasing our speed. I suppose we just establish Hazoret, and then maybe we actually spend the mana on the Hazoret ability for Nesting Bot next turn to get us up to 3 speed. Yeah, it just doesn't seem great to remove that right now, you know? Honestly, yeah, we would have played Hazoret before combat if they kept the Fear of missing out as a blocker. We would have just used that ability that turn too. Zombify. Gasp. Alright, let's see what they hit on the Trumpeting Connoisseur. Hopefully nothing too good. Bitter Triumph. I guess they have to hit the Nesting Bot. Indestructible on the Hazoret, so... Or they could put that to hand and wait, right? Okay. This is not terrible. Because we'll have Perilous Snare on the Connoisseur. Or... Yeah, no, Get Lost wouldn't work. I just hope they don't have anything... No blocks. I just hope they don't have anything to remove our artifacts, right? Vantage. Ew. I don't want more mana. From now until the end of the game, no more mana. Right, so untap Source first of all, because we'll need it. Because I'm gonna go Perilous Snare. Well. Yeah, no, this is fine. I guess we won't need it though. Because I'm gonna take the Connoisseur, and again, since they swung with Fear, we don't have to activate the Hazoret ability. I guess this is fine. We almost have max speed. And another Zombify won't land next turn, so that's good news. Yeah, let's see what they're capable of here. I know one thing. We do not want to draw mana next turn. They go Bitter Reunion after playing mana, so they must not have any planned 3-drops. In other words, they would have potentially waited to see an untapped land, right? They are holding the Fear of Missing Out back as a blocker this time round. Ooh, the Bluffs is actually a good land, though. I was about to pout a little bit, but it's not terrible because what that does is it lets the Hazoret on the board actually swing. We get to max speed before combat. It's not bad at all, guys. It really isn't. At that point, too, I mean, the Indestructible should be pretty brutal against Rakdos, right? As long as we have other creatures to sacrifice to it. I wouldn't mind boosting the Servo. But I think I am going to put it onto the Godseeker. They have a pretty good chump blocker. Do I really want to remove the Fear of Missing Out with a Get Lost, though? Seems like it would be a waste. We get 6-3, they go down to 7. We potentially threaten lethal next turn. Outside of that, they just chump it. Or they block the 1-1 and let 6 go through. But they would do that especially if they had like a Liliana for the sacrifice ability. I'm just swinging with the Godseeker. Keeping the 1-1's kind of important. Holy cow. They let it through, guys. I don't know what their plan is with the Fear of Missing Out, but I'm sure glad I'm keeping a Get Lost open right about now. Something fancy with the Bitter Reunion, give haste to a big old chunky thing, I suppose. What's their plan here, guys? They have a Restless Fence, too. Huh. Okay. I think I'm not going to remove the Fear of Missing Out. I'd rather hit the Restless Fence. Oh, Dowsing Device. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Well, first things first, I guess I'll play the Vantage. I guess. We'll get that down, right? Dowsing Device. We'll boost the 1-1 because we can get it to the point where we can swing with it. Although the Servo is the one that they can easily remove, it'll be fine. There's also the option... No, this is okay. This is okay. I was going to say, if we plug everything into the Godseeker, and if for some reason... No, this is okay. We don't know what's in the opponent's hand, guys, so... spreading it wide here seems more important than anything else. Let's see what they do. They do go for the chump. Okay. Hey guys, if I go destroy target creature on the Hazoret, get 2 map tokens, Hazoret doesn't die, get a couple more things on the Dowsing Device. It's only a couple more damage. I'm not going to do it because I think we need to keep this Get Lost open for whatever their plan is, right? They go down to 7. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, I mean, the Get Lost... Oh, wow. They must have missed big time. I was like so cautious. The whole end game there, so cautious for no reason, apparently. Right, Get Lost doesn't say anything about, like, you know, the creature has to be destroyed or anything. Destroy target creature, enchantment, or planeswalker, its controller creates 2 map tokens. You try to destroy indestructible. Effects that say destroy don't destroy. So I'm pretty sure we just get free map tokens, and I didn't go over that at the beginning because I kind of overlooked it. I'm kind of just seeing it now in that game, right? It's kind of neat. Yeah, if we ever target anything with our Get Lost, the first thought was, well, like, artifact that replaces itself with another artifact, or artifact that we can eventually bring back from the graveyard anyways, right? But no, Hazoret totally works with that. It's kind of neat. Yes. Yeah, dude. All right. So, nesting bot, I would say. Well, maybe Burnout Bashtronaut because of the menace gets around whatever blocker they put out there. Ah, good, it's just a gas guzzler. Right. So we can swing, get up to 2. I don't think it's a Demand Answers turn. I think we get the Burnout Bashtronaut down. Mainly because of the menace. I mean, Screaming Nemesis is going to get through next turn probably anyways. Yeah, now's not the time for a Demand Answers, I would say. But if it was, we could have kept it open until the end of their turn. They also get to 2 speed, because I don't think that's a great trade for us right now. Fear of missing out? What are you doing over there again? You're gonna chump my big guys again, aren't you? I know one thing, it's not gonna chump the Screaming Nemesis. That's getting through. So, Perilous Snare. Again, we should probably wait for bigger things, right? So, and we're not gonna swing with the nesting bot, because that actually is a good trade into the gas guzzler. Okay, 3 speed. Hopefully we see even more Dowsing Device today. Oh, Gix. Okay, well, first of all, again, that's a good trade for us. Because we get our 1/1 back. They go up to 3 speed, and they're definitely going to draw here off the Gix, I would say. Go down to 14. 5 cards in hand is a lot to deal with. Perilous Snare onto the Gix seems pretty darn good, right? Let's do it. Yeah, especially since we have another Perilous Snare anyways. We can keep a chump blocker to try to prevent them from getting max speed, which could be pretty important. I think we just need to push damage through, though. 5 down to 9. Even if we keep a chump blocker, they could remove it. But that would be removal on something that isn't a Nemesis, which I suppose wouldn't be terrible. Nemesis already has a huge target on its back. We put the counter on the Bashtronaut. Spread this out, right? We don't want the Nemesis to be a 4/4 just picked up by some simple spot removal. Also, putting +1/+1 counters onto a double strike creature is no joke. Oh, Unstoppable Slasher, nice. Okay, I don't really mind the mana here, but second Perilous Snare onto the Unstoppable Slasher, spread these counters wide. It's kind of gross, man. Yeah. I wonder what that last Verge is. Try to get the Bashtronaut. Oh, well, it wasn't a cut down. Right. Right, this is brutal. Nemesis and Gingerbrute. Full swing. They got 1 open. That's it. GG opponent. They were letting us play it out for a second. So, nothing stuck when we put the counter on the Bashtronaut, which means it wasn't a cut down. But this was also a red source too. So it could have been... No, never mind. Well, yeah, after the block with the Fear, since Fear of Missing Out is an enchantment, right? They could have sacrificed it for the bargain 1 mana red card that I can't remember the name of for some reason. What on earth, bro? I play with that card so much. And so does everyone else. Send help? Well, you guys know what I'm talking about. 1 red mana bargain card. So after they block the Nemesis, sacrifice the enchantment, bargain it, 3 damage to the double strike. Actually, that would have kept the opponent in. Holy cow, that would have been devastating. Because, yeah, no damage would have happened to the Nemesis. I guess they still would have had to deal with Nemesis on the following turn, too. Still have 2 other artifact creatures as well. Neither of those get picked up by Go for the Throat. I'll tell you what, though. You know what I haven't seen a lot of? Go for the Throat recently. Haven't seen a lot of that at all. Okay. Again, I hope we see Dowsing Device today, but it could be a very weird mulligan. Definitely keeping this. Okay. Oh, hey. Good draw. Nice. All right. Burnout Bashtronaut. Yeah, we don't want to start with the Verge because at first it only taps for a white source. And yes, I did double check that just to make sure. Case, they say the Bashtronaut was totally worth picking up, and I agree. Luckily, we have some haste in our hand. We drew into another 1-drop too, which just makes this turn so worthwhile. Awesome. All right. Increase our speed anyways. Yotian Frontliner. And then Nemesis next turn. Unfortunately, we bounced around the Sundial turn because the Bashtronaut died. Other words, it would have been Sundial for the turn. Oh, War Leader's Call. Nice. I'll just take the 2 for now. Oh, another Sundial. Hi. Anyways, it's Nemesis, though. Especially if their removal is only Case. All right, 3 speed. Opponent is planning to go wide here. And in Pacal, that'll help. Ooh, and a 1-drop too. That's a good turn 4. That's an excellent turn 4. Here comes another creature. Down to 10. Perilous Snare. Not bad, dude. That's probably... Okay. First of all, mana would have been pretty good too, because getting a Sundial down, 3/3 blocks pretty well for their board state, but then also get lost for the N and Pacal before they swing too. Outside of that, definitely worthwhile. Might need to keep some blockers back, guys. We could still consider... I'm sorry, opponent. I'm thinking, buddy. We could still consider Get Lost and getting the Gingerbrute through underneath their blockers. I think we swing with Frontliner, Nemesis, boost the Nemesis, because they probably don't block it. That'd be pretty rough. We start with that, maybe? No. No, then they definitely block with the An and Pacal. I'm going to save the Get Lost because we could still see mana next turn for both things in our hand. War Leader's Call also would not be a terrible card to grab. So if they block the Frontliner, we can bring it back successfully next turn. If they block the Nemesis, great. Okay. We have max speed. Frontliner can come back next turn. Let's go ahead and let's put this onto... Man, I don't even know where we want this. I guess Gingerbrute, because that can get under their wide blockers. But onto Nemesis, too, would be pretty great, man. They really would be. I mean, yeah, they still have 3 creatures on the board, especially if it's another case of the Gateway Express. But it would be all too easy for them to play the 4th creature. But then also... I don't know. Okay, another War Leader's Call. Are we dead? I think we might have died. Oh, we are alive. Okay. Okay. Oh, also we had Gingerbrute as a blocker too. You know, I'm not used to having blockers on the board. Let me tell you guys. My goodness. All right. So, right. Poor Sundial, huh? Just chilling this game. So Get Lost onto the Novice. I mean, it's do or die. Double War Leader's Call on their board. Next turn, they could play pretty much anything. So we go for it. We go for all of it. Right here, right now. Yotian Frontliner, bring it back. Perilous onto Nemesis, I suppose, right? We'll swing. Let's do it. Yeah. How much? Oh no, down to 1. Oh no. It's okay, guys. It's okay. Could I have mathed it out? Yes. Yes, I could have. Charming Scoundrel. So that's 2 damage from the War Leader's Call, and it had haste anyways. So we could have kept some blockers back. Gingerbrute ability, gain 3. Right? Block with the Gingerbrute, gain the 3, nesting bot. Okay, it didn't end up mattering anyways. So No, it did. It did end up matter. Well, because they have 3 swings, we would have had 2 blocks. No, 3 blocks. Sundial. Okay, well, we can definitely blame me on that one. You guys know me. Sometimes I really appreciate the math is for blockers turn. In that time, I was supposed to be the blocker. But math? Oh, jeez. I don't know, man. I don't know about that. No, this deck list is performing, isn't it? It's definitely doing something. I like this. But that that game, Sundial didn't get a chance to shine, but it really should have had its chance to shine. I really should have played the Sundial. There's so much, though, that the opponent could have done to potentially get there. I think the main thing that I overlooked in that moment, well, first of all, us missing lethal damage, but second of all, the extra life gain from the Gingerbrute. That was kind of essential, I would say. Keeping that back and gaining back up to 7. Opponent goes first, unfortunately. I'm going to keep this dude. At some point, we're going to see our main build around Dowsing Device, and it's going to be amazing, but until then, we have to keep hands that look all right. Sundial, is it your chance, buddy? Is it your chance? Bloodghast, okay. Okay, yep. I guess we swing. Come on down, Sundial. Yeah, it's a 3-3. Haha! Bloodghast, wow. Yep, they don't swing. Get lost. I guess Nemesis for the turn. We have pretty good curves, man. The fact that the Bloodghast can't block. They'll have a decent swing next turn, but this is solid, dude. Very solid. And I'd say this is probably a Liliana style deck list as well. So when they do drop Liliana go -2, we have the Frontliner to sacrifice, which is pretty good. Perilous Snare hits non-land permanents. We could have Perilous Snared that turn a Bloodghast to get the start your engines rolling, but Rankle's Prank. Dude. Nice. Holy cow. I guess Get Lost in Plains, because I like the other cards too much. Because Perilous Snare will act as our removal. Demand Answers can help us restock. Our sacrifice is going to be Frontliner Sundial, so the restock is going to be more of a filter because we won't have opponent? Where are you going, buddy? Where are you going? Come back! No! Aw, man. I would have loved to play that out. Dude, making us discard 2 and sacrifice 2 and giving us 10 seconds to think about it. I'm sad now. Okay, it might have been longer than 10 seconds, but still. Ah. So Rankle's Prank, that's actually really neat with the Bloodghast, right? That's really cool. That's a neat concept. I would have loved to see more of the opponent's deck list there. Guys, Dowsing Device. Wowee. I'm going to keep this. I'm not even looking at the rest of the hand. Okay, now we do have turn 1 Nesting Bot, or we do not have turn 1 Burnout Bashtronaut because of the Verge. Well, we might draw because the opponent goes first here, unfortunately, but yeah. There ain't nothing wrong with this hand. I'm going to try the turn 2 Dowsing Device immediately. We got enough artifacts packed in to really make it worthwhile, I would say. Oh yeah, we do. We did see a mountain, so we do have the turn 1 Bashtronaut. Probably go for it. Because the Menace might get around their 2-drop. Get our engines rolling. Uh-oh. 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 Burnout. Get down. No, it's a Torch the Tower. That's what the card's called. Oh my goodness, dude. Ah, it's one of those things, man, when it gets stuck, you know? Keen-eyed Curator. Guys, look. We can match their 3-3 with our 3-3. But realistically, I'd be very disappointed in myself if I didn't go Dowsing Device. Now that Dowsing Device is set up for the turn, Sundial will be a 4-3 with haste. And I think the opponent should be terrified of that. Bring it on, opponent. It's an Afterburner expert. Okay. That blocks a little bit too well, and I am personally offended by the fact that you're going to block my Sundial a little bit too well. You know what? Maybe we go... I mean, Perilous Snare picks up the expert pretty well, but I'd rather have more stuff on the board first. Gingerbrute tells us what we got to do for the turn, right? I think so. So, Nesting Bot, we'll see if they trade into that, right? Gingerbrute, or we could have put it all onto the Gingerbrute, all the extra. Kept Nesting Bot as a blocker, but... yeah, let the Gingerbrute through, and let them decide if they want to trade into Nesting Bot. They do decide to trade. We get the 1-1 back. Not bad. Alright, let's see what they pull off this turn. So, when they activate an exhaust ability, return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's kind of gross, man. That's gross. You have no extra cost there. Another Afterburner expert. But, buddy, my Sundial. Okay, maybe this is the turn. Perilous Snare. They actually keep Keen-eyed Curator back too. Maybe we just max our speed as well. I apologize, opponent. I'm thinking, buddy. I've really been struggling thinking through some plays recently. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the new set or if it's just me. We can get Gingerbrute through no matter what. If we just activate this, we can establish Hazoret, which blocks really well at that point too. Hazoret is not an artifact. Perilous Snare can still pick up the Afterburner next turn. Actually like that. How do you guys feel about that? Get by the blockers. Like this. And then Hazoret. Yeah, it can attack and block now. Yeah, we don't have to think of Hazoret as just like an aggressive creature. We can also think of it as just a solid blocker. That should actually be pretty difficult for Gruul to pick up, right? Another Afterburner expert. Oh, no. Oh, Raceway is interesting. Extra mana, guys. Oh, that's very interesting. Huh. I don't mind extra mana at all. I'll start with Sundial, give it haste before we accidentally flip the Dowsing Device, because we're about to flip it right now. Come on down, Sundial. Here you go, buddy. There you go. That's what we wanted to see, huh? All right. Now we do have enough mana for the Geode Grotto. But I think we're going to go Perilous Snare. And we'll go ahead, pick up one of the Afterburner experts. That's the trade there for sure. Hazoret? No. Gingerbrute. Activate Gingerbrute. Let them trade. They haven't done anything with their other Afterburner expert. Oh, Keen-eyed Curator blocks the Sundial anyways. Worth it. If we get this other stuff through, I mean, we're starting to put the opponent on a clock, especially with the Geode Grotto. All right, 2 experts in the grave. Don't bring them back, please. Oh no. Oh, they tapped both of their red sources. Yeah, I understand, opponent. I feel that. Auto tapper, man. It'll get you with the pain lands. Carplusion Forest. So they wanted to do Forest, Mountain, then Carplusion Forest for the red source, Exhaust. Bring back both Afterburner experts, which is brutal, dude. Look at this combo, man. Just Gruul, Afterburner experts, Draconautics Engineer. I mean, that's gonna, I mean, that, I don't even know. If they didn't do that, how were we actually gonna start to get through? Well, wait a minute. These don't keep the haste. It's gain haste until end of turn. Gingerbrute would still be able to get through, right? So we'd still be able to go Geode Grotto, boost the Gingerbrute, extra counter. So if we saw an artifact from hand, it would have been +3. Gingerbrute would have been at 6. So an artifact from hand still wouldn't have done it. But Hazoret still has indestructible, so they still would have had to block, but they got perfect blockers there too. They found their 4th mana for the exhaust. Okay, I'm talking way too much about this match, but yeah. I guess we still could have found a way through, Gingerbrute kind of being an MVP there after a little bit. One more game, guys. Let's do it. I guess one big thing we need to see today is actually demand answers doing something too. So at some point, that'll be good. I think there's going to be moments where we flood when we really don't want to flood, so trading out just demand answers, extra land in hand, that's going to be really good sometimes. But I think there's going to be other times where you're totally fine with popping your frontliner, bringing it back with Unearth next turn anyways, or on the same turn, I suppose. Opponent goes first. It's an all right hand. It'll be an all right one for the last game of the evening. Heartfire Hero. Ew. No, I kind of like... I have such a love-hate relationship with Heartfire Hero, man. Because as a red player, I freaking love Heartfire Hero. But every time the opponents play with it, I'm just like, oh dear. You know what I mean? Swiftspear. Same concept, but I don't know how it's possible, but Swiftspear feels more fair sometimes, you know? Yeah, what the heck, man. I'll try the block. Wait, no, I won't. No, I won't. It's fine. It's fine, dude. It's coming through regardless. Dreadmaw's Ire gives it trample. Oh, Dreadmaw's Ire pops the frontliner anyways. Dude. Well, there you go. I guess we could still bring back frontliner. No, we can't. First of all, we have to establish the speed, which is through the Hazoret. But just going Get Lost onto the Heartfire Hero before it gets out of hand is a little bit better. Perilous Snare would be even better. Maybe it doesn't get out of hand right away. I don't know, man. I think this is going to be a tough uphill battle regardless, so we might as well just try to do as much as possible. I think the big thing here is... Oh, you know what, though? If we kept Get Lost open for their Swiftspear... Oh, this is important. This is important, guys. We have no guaranteed way of increasing our speed next turn anyways. So we might as well have just gone Perilous Snare to get the speed going this turn. So Hazoret didn't do anything. Keeping the Get Lost open would have been much, much better. I didn't see that till after, unfortunately, but... Well... Screaming Nemesis isn't a bad blocker. But I'm just gonna go Perilous Snare and hope that we don't die, right? Yeah, last turn, Get Lost on the Challenger or the Swiftspear instead of Hazoret. I definitely should not have established this Hazoret. Turn inside out. See what they see off of this. It's a Challenger. It's a Monstrous Rage. Well, crap. That can't be the last one, guys. Let's push it. One more, one more. We're at -4. If I would have actually played the Get Lost on the Hazoret turn, Perilous Snare on the turn after, we still would have been at 1 speed, first of all. Yeah, no, I guess technically we could still be in there. Sometimes you got to play very, very cautiously. The Hazoret was not a cautious play at all. It's actually a really bad play. I apologize, guys. That was pretty bad. All right, opponent, what you bringing to the table, buddy? You know what? Bring more Heartfire Hero. I think we could do it. Here we go. Nesting Bot, Demand Answers. That's something I wanted to see do a thing today. Enough removal for the opponent going first to make us feel at least like a little bit comfortable with them going first, right? Get Lost into Perilous Snare. Maybe I'll do it correctly this time. Keep the Get Lost open over a Hazoret or something. Yeah, no, this seems fine. Whoa, the opponent went down to 5, guys. Heartfire Hero, hi! What are you doing over there, buddy? You didn't actually have to come to the table, but thanks for being here. Oh, man. Innkeeper's Talent. Yeah, dude. That's brutal. We might as well chump. Not take the 3 and just take the 3 from the Get Lost. Before they have protection open, because they're Gruul, right? Now we won't get a creature in return for the Demand Answers, but we gotta do this while they're tapped out for sure. How do you guys feel about that? And then just Perilous Snare, their second one. Ooh. Innkeeper's Talent? No. Get rid of that Heartfire Hero, go down to 17, and be happy that the Heartfire Hero isn't any chunkier. I'll swing, because even if they have a hasty creature, do we really want to lose our servo? Also, increasing our speed seems pretty important too. 3rd mana. Give us something good to exile. Screaming Nemesis or something. That would be a pretty fun exile, right? Hey, Screaming Nemesis. You didn't have to come to the table, buddy. But thanks for being here. Right. Let's do... I guess it doesn't really matter too much. We'll get the Raceway down. Perilous Snare. Goodbye, Screaming Nemesis. Goodbye. Swing? At some point, these swings are going to be risky, but 3 speed. And Hazoret isn't a bad draw. Wow, they still have creatures, man. It's an Emberheart Challenger. That was a pretty good Gruul hand. 3 creatures. When I play Gruul, I see a creature sometimes. No, I'm just teasing, guys. Sometimes when you put these lists together, sometimes you'll have like 16 creatures or so, and what ends up happening is it's just super important to have cards like Tyvar Stand or Snakeskin Veil and stuff to protect those all essential creatures. Which is why we ended up playing like Get Lost on our turn and stuff. Map token, more mana, wow. Okay, I guess the other map token's probably happening this turn too, right? No, they actually go for the Innkeeper's Talent, get a little bit of ward on the Challenger. Pretty good. Hazoret's a fine blocker against the Challenger, unless they see something that gives it trample off the top, which would not be unheard of at all. Start with the swing. Extra mana on the Raceway. We only have 1 red source on the board because the Verge aren't red right now. Crap. I shouldn't have played the Verge, because we could have found another red source off the Demand Answers. Mistakes were made, guys. Uh-oh. 4th speed. Now, see, I should have started... Well, if we started with Demand Answers instead of the Verge, you're kind of risking it at that point, too, because we wanted to get the Hazoret down regardless to be able to block the Challenger. Yeah. Yeah, so that could have been a risk, but I think it's a risk I would have taken. What about you guys? One red source with this hand, that's rough, man. That's going to happen sometimes with the Verge. That's the downside to being such an amazing dual land, you know what I mean? Has to have some kind of downside. Okay. Wow, another land. Holy cow. Really? Really? I think the opponent got a little unlucky there, but I also think we played it out well enough, too. Not bad, guys. Kind of feels like we landed on a decent Boros setup here, but I could be wrong, too. I actually don't know what the win rate is. I've been playing too much Magic, man. All my games are starting to blur together a little bit. And all my card names, apparently, too. All right. Boros Artifacts. Here's the deck list again. Neat. Really neat. Really fun. Yeah. Outside of video, this is totally the type of deck list I would sit down and just play with for fun. A little bit of practice, too. There's a lot going on in these style of deck lists. Number 1, Muraganda Raceway. First of all, getting max speed was easy today. We did it a lot, didn't we? So that means we started our engines a lot. When you're rocking these raceways, there's a possibility where you have turn 1 Raceway, Gingerbrute, swing, right away, turn 1, 2 speed. That's fast. And then Gingerbrute just pairing beautifully with the artifact theme, Dowsing Device and everything too. Being able to get under chump blockers seems really, really important. And Hazoret helps us get under chump blockers too. Unfortunately, though, has to be target creature with power 2 or less. So you can't do something fancy with like a Geode Grotto and boost a big old Bashtronaut, because Geode Grotto specifically reads at the end there, activate only as a sorcery. So you'd have to activate it first onto the Bashtronaut. Wait a minute. How does that work? Target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. No, I guess you could just activate Hazoret first, right? And then boost with the Geode Grotto. Yeah, I don't entirely know what I was thinking there. I was thinking like this ability would be obsolete after you actually boosted the power, but that doesn't make sense. That's something I actually wish I would have tried today in one of those games, but I don't know if we actually had a moment to try that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could just activate Hazoret first, and now it can't be blocked, and then you boost it, and then it should be fine. I think. I don't know, man. Let me know in the comments. I played Magic once before, and then after that, I forgot all the rules. So every single day I sit down and I learn the rules again from scratch. Dude, Perilous Snare. Heck yeah, all 4 of them. I really like this card. It's going to go in a lot of different builds for me. First time we played with it, it was pretty good. Now we're playing with it again. Still felt pretty good. Really easy to get max speed. If you get a couple of these on the board and every turn you're just plugging extra counters onto your things, wow. First of all, that's not half bad. Especially since before you're plugging counters into things, you're just removing the opponent's best thing for 3 mana. And I mean it, best thing, because it's non-land permanent. I don't know, man. Seems decent, right? With all these 1-drops starting our engines, it's no wonder we had no issues starting our engines early on here. Let's check this out real quick. There's everything that starts our engines, right? So Raceway, Nesting Bot, Bashtronaut, Hazoret, and all 4 of the Perilous Snares, which is pretty late in the game. If you're starting your engines with the Perilous Snare, already 3 turns in, you're probably not reaching max speed, or you're getting to the point in the game where once you do reach max speed, the opponent has established their mid-game engine and stuff, which we do not have in here. So, yeah, all that's very noteworthy too. So what is that? 13 early cards start your speed. Okay. It's actually not as much as I was originally thinking when I was pulling them over here. 13 early cards, 17 total cards to start our engines. I'm sorry, guys. I'm saying start our speed, but yeah. I guess similar concept, right? So almost a third of the deck list probably means you'll see one of those in your opener. I guess. I don't know the exact math on that, but kind of makes sense, right? Screaming Nemesis, really like this as a 2 of on the top end. It's such a tricky creature, man. It's really, really tricky. Do we want more of these? Potentially. I could see dropping this, or going up to the 3rd or 4th, depending. 22 mana. 22 mana could sustain more 3 drops, maybe. The thing is, we have 4 Perilous Snares too, so our 3-drop spot, how often are we going to say, well, my turn 3, I need to remove something? Or how often are we going to say, turn 3, I'd love to scream with a Nemesis right now? Maybe an equal amount. Maybe 3 Perilous Snares, 3 Screaming Nemesis, but I would really hate to drop a Perilous Snare. I really would, so that's something, though. I guess, first of all, guys, I keep bringing this up, and I'll keep bringing this up for a little bit. The first couple weeks of a new set, you want to put everything on the do not craft list if you can. If you can help it, don't craft anything, dude. You never know where the meta is going to settle, and once it settles, you don't want it to settle on the opposite side of a deck list that you spent your wild cards on. You know what I mean? So, if you can, I would highly recommend just using the cards that you get out of packs and don't craft anything for a little bit. See where the meta settles first. But that being said, if you're looking at this deck list and you're like, dude, no matter what you say, I'm going to craft it, still base it on your collection, right? Maybe you only have a couple Perilous Snares. You don't have to craft the 3rd and 4th right away. You could just play the couple Perilous Snares. Maybe you already had all 4 Screaming Nemesis. Well, there you go. You just do that little trade out and be happy about it, right? Now, you're dropping white sources, going up more red. You might need to analyze the mana base a little bit. The Abraded Bluffs. You know, it did help us reach max speed that one game, didn't it? Which actually let the Hazoret come down and swing that turn too, right? I think so. Maybe we could consider more of these bluffs. I'll tell you what, there's another trade out, right? And it's a budget trade out. This is a common. So maybe there's some Boros rare lands that you don't have yet. Maybe you didn't collect all the Verge that you want. You could probably go up the bluffs as the trade out and be pretty happy about it, honestly, since we got that max speed theme in here. I didn't mind this at all. There are definitely 110% going to be games that it slows you down, though. So if you do have 3 or 4 of these in, you're going to increase the number of games where this does end up slowing you down. Outside of that, there's definitely going to be other games where it does help you increase your speed, which is pretty significant. Neat. I'm glad I tried 1 in here. I'm just going to keep it at 1, though. Speaking of keeping it at 1, I don't think I'm going to change anything. Oh, guys, while I have you here at the end of the video, I can't believe I forgot to bring this up. All the YouTube nonsense and whatnot, right? If you liked the video, make sure you actually drop it a like. If you enjoyed the channel, make sure you consider subscribing. It really does help out the channel. Down in the description, we have that Discord link as well as that Patreon link too, if you're interested in joining either of those up or supporting the channel that way. All right, with that out of the way, do I have anything else to say about this deck list? Demand answers, yeah. All 4 of them packed in. We saw it a lot today. We didn't use it a lot today. We were doing a lot of things. We were actually just highly focusing on damage. Oh, you know what? You know, it's funny. That one game where I didn't count the board state, did a math is for blockers turn. That was pretty bad. I apologize again for that, right? We got the opponent down to 1. If we would have seen a bluffs that game, I guess we would have won, right? Well, no, not necessarily, because I guess it depends what turn the bluffs would have come down if it actually would have slowed us down. That's one to actually go back and watch. That might make a case for more bluffs anyways. That's interesting. That's actually very interesting. Here's the artifacts we can sacrifice to the demand answers, guys. Frontliner, Nesting Bot, those aren't terrible to sacrifice to the demand answers. Sometimes a Gingerbrute wouldn't be terrible. Some cards in hand that you wouldn't mind discarding. The second Hazoret wouldn't be a terrible discard. The second or third Sundial wouldn't be a terrible discard, or potentially a sacrifice if you're really stuck that game. But I would not recommend sacrificing Sundial unless it was already getting removed by the opponent anyways, which demand answers is instant speed, so you could totally keep it open. When they do find removal for Sundial, sacrifice it instead. That being said, too, that's the same case for any of our creatures. I'm just bringing it up with Sundial because of its value on the board state, you know? But yeah, any of our artifacts, technically, the opponent drops an Abraded on a Perilous Snare, you might as well sacrifice it, draw a couple cards, you know what I mean? It's not terrible at all. Dowsing Device, probably wouldn't want to sacrifice that, but still, that's a good chunk of the deck that we could potentially sacrifice to demand answers. Outside of that, you're just doing some trade outs in your hand if you end up flooding out that game or something. 23 creatures, 23 artifacts, actually. That's a funny coincidence. Yeah, funny coincidence. I was going to say, yeah, they're not all the creatures are artifact creatures, so, interesting. Okay, guys, enough rambling, huh? My goodness, almost an hour in. If you made it this far into the video, for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.